My name is Robin Kaufman. I grew up in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I work for an actuary for Amaris Consulting, which is based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My typical day is a lot of spreadsheets. So actuaries have two kind of main functions. The first one is pricing insurance products. Looking kind of forward to say what we should charge for insurance. And then the second is reserving, which is kind of looking in the past and saying, what do we need to keep aside to pay claims that we're already responsible for? So, for example, I might get a spreadsheet that's just full of data that says, for a company, they've had this many losses over this time frame, and they paid each amount for each loss. And so then a lot of what I do is data management, where I take that data in and I organize it into triangles where we look at each year how the losses develop. So I take a big long columns of data, turn them into prettier triangles. From there, I calculate factors at each time point. So it grew by 1.27 between 12 and 24 months this year, and then we get averages over 10 years and calculate a average factor pretty much. And then we take those factors, multiply them against current dollars to project in the future. So my current job, I do consulting. Everyone in the company works remote, and we have the whole time. Like before, I say I worked remote before it was cool. um, but I work mostly with spreadsheets all day. There's some back and forth client emails, but not a whole lot of face to face. So it's very easy to do remote work. I do have two young kids, and most of the time I get to be with them during the day. And then after they go to bed, I do most of my work. So the hours don't even matter. I get my hours in when I can. Most projects, we have a deadline, and whenever I can meet, as long as I meet my deadlines, I can work whenever I can fit it in. So it's an extremely flexible job. It's great at helping keep work-life balance. Right now, after the end of the year, is really reserving season, where we get the year-end financials, and then the NAIC requires companies to submit a statement of actuarial opinion about their reserve levels. So that's what I'm doing for the next 3 months. Well, I grew up in a very mathy household. My dad was a math teacher. Me and my siblings would sit around the dinner table doing math just for fun. So I always knew I wanted to do something with math. In high school, I was taking a statistics class and I thought it was too boring, and I dropped it and took AP Calc 2 instead. Um, But the funny thing is, I use a lot more statistics now, and I wish I had taken more in high school and college. So then I went to college and I was getting a math degree. Everyone would say, "What do you want to do?" And I'd say, I have no idea. Something with math. My senior year of college, someone came to speak at UNM. That was an actuary, and kind of introduced me to the topic. From there, I took an insurance class, like the business more of insurance. And there was someone that taught that class that worked for the first company I worked for that said they needed an actuary. And that's how I was able to kind of land my first job out of college. It was pretty fortunate. So the most difficult thing about becoming an actuary is the exams. There's quite an extensive exam process. There's 6 or 7 exams to get to the associate level, and then another 2 or 3 to get to fellowship. Um, so I'm currently at the associate level. I have not finished all the way, but you can do a lot in your career without completing those last 2 exams. A lot of people never do. But most companies, when they hire out of college, are looking for students who have 1 exam or 2, maybe even already. So, one thing students can do if they're interested in this career is try taking the first exam. The first exam is probability. So if you've taken a statistics or a probability class, you can, kind of tackle that one and see if it would be something you'd be interested in. And then you would kind of have a leg up when applying for jobs that you already have this exam. I would just say I was just really into math and calculus. I was always taking, I have, four older brothers. I was always trying to take the hardest math class I could find to prove I was as smart as them. So that kind of drove my high school math career. Yeah, in high school I was more into the music, and I was in choir and the performing arts more than I did extracurricular math, so it didn't apply to my career as much. Although music education is great for training a math brain too. I don't know, math is very applicable to a lot of things. A lot of good careers that uh, are pretty lucrative if you can stick with some math education.